Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special figure showcase and review we're going to be looking at the 2010 Generations Thunderwing figure. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to have a detailed look at him in both of his modes to help you decide how you want to display him. I'm going to show you the accessories and the other cool little gimmicks that this figure's got to help you know if yours is complete. We will of course do some comparisons with him and his original Generation 1 self, and we can also see, as I've already mentioned, some of the other brilliant little gimmicks and homages to G1 that this particular figure can do in near enough matching this as well. So quite a bit to get through with this, and before we get started I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to this channel, if they'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now please, because it really will help me out. Right, we're going to start off with some first impressions then, and let's have a look at the figure. And again, this came out in 2010, so it's quite old now. We've got quite a nice head sculpt there. If we spin this round, we can see we've got a full articulation and spinning around there. We've also got some light piping there coming into the back of the head. Let's see if I can get it to work. It's too bright, the light is. If I pop it there, you can see though just about there that they really light up nice and orange. That's a brilliant little addition. We've got these that move around on the top of the shoulder. We've got the arms do move around quite a bit, but they are hindered by the wings at the back. You've got bicep flexion, we've got a wrist swivel. We don't actually have a waist swivel, but you've got the hips once you move the skirt out of the way. You can see they're on ball and sockets, knee bend, ankle. If we've got a tilt and rock, we've got a little bit of a rock, but we haven't really got a tilt. Bicep flexion, of course, and as I say, as you'd expect, a brilliant amount. Even though this is over 12 years old, it looks great. The color scheme's great. I really like this figure. It was a great idea of them to do this in the Generations toy line. So what we're going to do now with the rest of the video, we're going to have a look at him in detail and his alternate mode, see how we can use his accessories before coming back finally in his robot mode for some comparisons as well. So we're back, and as you can see, he's in his alternate mode already. Quick apologies for no transformation process on this video. Couple of reasons for this. One is to keep the main length of this video down, and two is not to spoil it for people who don't want to see it. If you want to see it, it is separately uploaded in another video, and you can watch both directions, front and back. But let's have a look at this. It looks great. We've got this lovely translucent orange plastic for the cockpit and down at the front. We've got the lovely blue on the wings there, nice purple colours. It's a nice simple, nice basic. You can see that it's loosely based on an F-22 Raptor, and I haven't put any of the weapons in. These are of course the shoulder pads bits, but they look all right. I suppose guns. It looks like a good part of the jet. We've got the landing gear down there with the wheel that rolls about. I suppose if you look underneath, you can see we've obviously got some visible hands, which funnily enough leads us to what I was going to show you right now anyway. So we've got these accessories. These are brilliant. These do fire pretty far and with quite a bit of venom, to be honest. What you can do is you can actually, in fact I'll show you it combined in robot mode, it's better. Now obviously you can see by where the holes are underneath that these are designed to go underneath, which is fine, and I'm sure you'll agree it does look good. It looks fine, it looks great, but what I've said, because of what I've found, because I don't really like seeing the visible hands, and it's not too detrimental to it, you've just got to make sure that the hand doesn't spin around. So I'm going to move it out of the way for 2 seconds, because with the wrist swivel it does have a tendency to move. But even if you wanted to, like this is how I like to display it, if I'm going to display in the jet mode, it doesn't hinder it because it's the same height as the landing gear, and you can just angle them out as well, so you wouldn't even know. But as you can see there, and of course when you're looking underneath, it's completely disguised and covered up quite a bit more of the robot, so I think it looks better for that reason. We can have a quick look at the back of the packaging while we're here. You can see there it's got stealth jet mode, and this is detachable drone, which I'm going to show you in a second. We've got tech specs there, but basically just written out, and there's a bit of spiel there. If you want to read that, you can pause it and read it now. You can see there you've got the light piping, which looks great, and you've got the detail of the 2 launching missiles. There's not much to say about that. It looks a little bit like the small little jet that came with the original. The original shell looks nothing like it. Again, it's a different take on it completely. But the little drone, it's not too bad at resembling that, in honesty. So let's come back for the final time with him in his robot mode, see how his accessories work, and of course do some comparisons. So we're back for the final time in his robot mode, and as you can see, we flared the wings out the way they should be looking, and this is exactly how I'm going to be displaying him. So he looks a little bit different and a lot better with these wings out. In the first part, of course, they were just bent down there for the first impressions, but it looks so much better when you do in fact flare them out. When we go to have a look at the weapons, of course you can, if you wanted to, as we've seen, pop these in his hands. Now they are quite big, but I think they're just about sort of believable. They're not too overbearing. Some of the figures, and especially around this time, 2010, 2011, it was all the mech tech weapons with the movie figures, they were just too large. These, however, he can get away with it, and even on carpet, as you can see, he's holding his balance no problem whatsoever. Now the other cool thing that you could do, which funnily enough just contradicts exactly what I've just said, it makes the weapon a bit too big, but it's a cool little gimmick. If you wanted to do it, or if you wanted to then pass the weapon to a bigger figure, you've got in one of these, where is it? Let's have a quick look. There you go. There's two tiny little cutouts there. And what we're looking at doing is popping these two tabs into it. So you've now got a giant combined weapon. It doesn't look the greatest, and as I said, it's just that it's just that bit too big for this figure. However, with a larger figure, it's much more impressive. Not so much with this guy. It's just a little gimmick, and do you know what, this figure, for all them particular reasons, for the little gimmicks, is brilliant. For the fact that it is a toy and the playability of it, even though it's quite basic, it's brilliant. You've got this as well. Now look, you can take this bit off the front, you can separate this completely. Let's very carefully pull this out, and then this is a mini drone. Let's separate this, pull the landing gear down and pull it out, so you can still have that there. You've got this little mini drone here, which again, as I've said, is a brilliant homage to this from the original Pretender. If only this transformed, if this just transformed into a teeny little robot or something, it would just really top this amazing figure off. With regards to comparisons with the G1 self, we've got the G1 little robot that it doesn't really look like at all, but we've got the G1 shell, which of course now you can see where he's got his homages and where he's got his similarities from. Quite a different head sculpt, not too bad, but again you can see where they've got the spikes on the shoulders, they've got the green on the chest. Yeah, really good. Now this is the strangest version of him. I think this is from Titan's Return. This is of course just a little head, and it's exactly that. It's just a little head. That could have been so much better, couldn't it? It really could. Right, I think this is where we're going to round it off though, because as I've said, as regards with this being a toy, playability, bit of fun, it's great. These little gimmicks that they've added to it just, I think, as I say, tops it off for me. You can see where this is held in place with these two tabs in there. So let's slot this back into place, slot the landing gear down, and as I say, I'm going to be displaying him exactly like this. I'm going to put the weapons back in his hand like so, and there we have it. This was the 2010 Generations Thunderwing. I think this figure's stood the test of time. Don't get me wrong, I'd still love an amazing new update, especially with today's technology, but for now he is a great stand-in. What do you guys think? Let me know, and of course please take care. Thanks for watching. Like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe.